Hello, campers, and welcome to Camp Insomnia. This is your orientation for camp. Woo! This is our first episode of our podcast. Welcome. I am your camp counselor, Zach.
And I am your camp counselor, Jacob.
And we are here to tell you some spooky stories around the campfire. Some paranormal.
And killer crime.
Killer crime. It's a true crime, baby. So let's introduce ourselves because it's the first time you're listening to us. And if you're watching us via like YouTube, right? YouTube or Twitch.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Your flip phones out there, are you cool retro kids?
Yeah, if you're watching us, and hello, how are you? This is what I look like. This is what Jacob looks like.
With a mustache.
If you're not watching us and you're listening, I promise you, we're two handsome men.
Or so we think.
Or so we think. So Jacob will introduce himself first. Jacob, tell him a little about yourself.
Hello, my name is Jacob. I have a mustache. I am very pale, and I own a beagle.
Oh.
That is all about me.
I'm drinking water.
Yeah.
He is also a very good brother, because we are siblings. He is my younger brother. I am his older brother. Yeah.
And an amazing cook. By the
and
way.
he loves to play Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Magic the Gathering Wizards sponsor would be pretty cool.
Oh, my Lance. We're just starting. That'd be cool, though.
Yeah. Free
You want
cards,
that.
baby.
Free cards. Free everything.
Free everything.
My name is Zach, and I am a 3D animator. Ooh, wow, how exciting. I do have a dog. His name is Chandler, and he's a pit bull mix. I am 25. I'm older.
Oh, by the way, ladies, I'm 22 and single, so if you want to hit me up in my DMs, I'll get right back to you.
Stupid. Yeah, and I love, with such passion, scary things, all horror-related, spooky, paranormal, true crime. I wish you could see the rest of my room because I have little skulls. I have little action figures of Jason. Look, I'll pull this one down for you guys. See. If you guys can't see it, this is I'm holding a little figurine of Jason. He's holding an axe, and he looks very decrepit. I think this is from number 5. I could be wrong. But yeah, so
I
he
don't
sits,
even know.
he sits right on my desk, right at the edge, at the very top of my desk. He sits there and reminds me how much I love all things spooky. So without further ado, is that how they say that? I don't know. Campers, are you ready? All right.
So, kick up your feet, stick your s'mores in the fire, roast your weenies, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, enjoy. Let's gather around this campfire. And our first story today, we're going to be talking about the paranormal. Jacob's going to be going first today.
I am.
So Jake's going to tell his paranormal story. I'll tell my true crime. And on our next episode, we'll switch things around. I'll do a true crime, and Jake will do a paranormal story for you guys.
Alrighty, campers. We are going to be talking about the Skinwalker.
Did you just say the Skinwalker?
I said the Skinwalker.
Wow. Does he have skin? Does he walk?
The Walker of Skin.
Holy shit. Okay, tell me about him.
Alrighty. So how I interpreted the Skinwalker, of what I've read, is that a Skinwalker is like an ancient Native American legend that lives in various forms across tribes. Ooh. Mainly the Navajo.
The Navajo.
Navajo always got cool shit.
Yeah, we're Cherokee, by the way. We're from the Cherokee tribe. I haven't found anything really exciting in terms of like scary
weavers. Basket weavers.
But the Navajo are pretty cool. They believe in these Skinwalkers. They're crazy.
Navajo lore, a Skinwalker, I'm gonna get cursed by saying this name wrong.
Oh God.
Yeah. Ye Naladushi.
Sure. Yinaladushi.
Yilananushi.
Yinaladushi.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds Italian. Yilananushi. Is a kind of wicked sorcerer who can transform into occupy or disguise himself as an animal. So he turned himself into a squirrel. Stir your nuts. Natives are familiar with this creature, know this being to be evil and dangerous, and bring harm to the tribes, including their own. Well, it's just evil in general, so, I mean, scary bitch. It is described when you encounter this being, it's like a dog-like creature on all fours with sunken yellow eyes. Some claim it to neither be fully human or animal, and it can move at an unimaginable speed, so it could be like a freaking Flash.
Dang.
So eyewitness descriptions of how they describe the dog-like creature to be. It's be like human hands, hunched over, sunken yellow eyes, and it walks backwards.
Wait. So it's a dog with yellow eyes that has human hands.
Yeah,
a dog.
like hands, like weird deformed, like paw human hands.
Ew.
Yeah, and it walks backwards. So you're seeing like, what is that thing? And you see this thing running towards you with backwards like feet.
Hands. So why does it run backwards?
You should ask it. Ask it why. Yeah, like sounds like a deformed werewolf.
I'll pass.
Yeah, no thanks. Okay, then the Skinwalkers are not boogeymen. They are figures made up to scare children. Unlike Anglo stories of werewolves and witches, they don't lose control and kill everything in their path or maliciously curse people for no reason. So they have to have some sort of motive for what I guess.
For killing?
Or they're just evil witchmen just making life miserable. Like humans, they do kill and have humans, and they have motivations for acts of aggression. Power and revenge fuel their murderous intent.
Ooh.
But such things cannot occupy the brain of a rational creature all the time, and Skinwalkers do not make murder part of their daily routine. Other than their origin story, legends of the Skinwalkers are rarely include death of any kind of mauling. Instead, some common stories include Skinwalkers of their animal form running alongside a vehicle and matching their speed. Holy shit. No. I would shit. Pedal to the metal, babe. Let's get out of here.
Well, I mean, pedal to the metal, it's still going to catch up with you, so no thank you.
Even as the driver accelerates, eventually the Skinwalker will get bored and run off into the brush.
Okay, well, at least it's going to get bored.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
I do not want that backwards-looking dog thing chasing after me. How scary would that be? Chasing you with its backward legs.
No, thank you.
It's a in other instances, people report seeing and hearing Skinwalkers outside their homes at night. Rarely, however, does a Skinwalker enter the dwelling.
So it doesn't come in your house?
No. So
Okay,
you're
well,
good.
That's nice.
It's like, I shut the door, you can't come in. Okay, I'll come back later.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. He's cool like that, you know. He likes to be considerate, you know. Wants you to be in your own safe space. He's a cool guy. Times
He's a cool
have changed.
guy. Let you stay in your house if it doesn't enter, but your car? What's that?
Yeah.
It'll still chase you.
Yeah, it still chase you. It'd be like, Lou,
No.
come in.
No, thank you. Fuck that.
Skinwalkers have been reported by both Native American and non-Native people, including popular story here in New Mexico of Skinwalkers being seen by the state police and the stench of a roadway on Navajo territory. So, the Skinwalkers have like this really bad smell of like death.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just
So
murdered.
it's like
Yeah, like someone just ripped ass. And it's just staying like a big fart cloud in one spot.
Oh.
That is a Skinwalker.
Oh.
You may not see it. It could have been there in like 2 seconds because it moves at like imaginable speeds. You could not even seen it, but it stays there. It smells like ass. You don't want to smell it. Bring Febreze. So I'm gonna be talking about the Skinwalker Canyon with Ghost Adventures.
Oh.
Hey. Oh.
We love our Ghost Adventures.
Yes.
We love Zach Bagans.
Hey Zach Bagans, if you ever see us, contact me. You know, just say hi.
Hit us on the gram.
Please. So the Skinwalker Canyon. Bum bum. So the four corners of Utah is our Bermuda Triangle. Things constantly go missing. Mysterious sightings of the paranormal. So the encounters. The Navajo community does not speak of the Skinwalker.
Jesus, you said that with such aggression.
Oh, because it's so serious there. They do not speak of the Skinwalker because they're going to get cursed or it's going to come in the night and literally kill them.
Well, then, yeah, I wouldn't want to speak of the Skinwalker either if I was that terrified.
So, mind you, like they said, it's not the boogeyman, but it kind of makes it sound like they're making it to seem like it's the boogeyman.
Jesus Christ.
So, do not speak of the Skinwalker. He's going to come get you. In the Navajo community, there was a man that could conjure the Skinwalker and bring evil to his community. Mind you, this is
So like a medicine man, like a shaman.
Yeah, like a shaman. In their tribe, people in his community believe that he would come to, or no, he would conjure up these Skinwalkers.
So rewind, backpedal. So in Skinwalker Canyon, there's a man that they believe that conjures up Skinwalkers.
I don't know why.
He just wants to fuck with people.
Pretty much.
Well, he's an asshole.
Yeah, his motive is to fuck with people.
Well, don't send a Skinwalker my way.
Yeah.
Keep that all the way on Navajo territory.
So they believed he would conjure up these Skinwalkers and bring evil to his community. Wow. The wife that he had, I don't know, this wife must be like totally oblivious about like, oh, we're just summoning some Skinwalkers. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to the next room, make you some like cream cheese sandwiches. But now that I see that you're causing evil, I have to do something about it.
Okay.
So what she did was that she believed that it was changing for the worse. And
no kidding.
Yeah.
He's making Skinwalkers.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, you got to change. Dr. Phil can't help. So, what she decided to do to put an end to this entire misery was to decapitate his ass.
Oh. Holy crap, so she decapitated him.
Yeah, she
I mean, that's one way to kill someone.
She sent him to the shadow realm, so.
Jesus.
But when Zach Bagans asked if the story was true, they immediately shut him down of the story, fearing it would curse them for speaking of it. So that is how serious it is about talking about stories or just anything of the Skinwalker, because they believe you're going to get cursed or killed. So, be careful what you say. In Navajo territory. In the canyon, there's a cave, the Witchcraft Cave, where these Navajo witchmen go and conjure the Skinwalker and practice bad medicine.
What's bad medicine?
So bad medicine is where if you want, I don't know, if you want to do something bad, like, oh, like, I want this bitch to die, but I have to sacrifice birds or whatever, or put a curse on somebody, rather than a good curse, meaning bring good wealth, making your crops grow, just bring prosperity to your community. The bad stuff is the total opposite. Okay. So when Zach and the crew...
I thought you were talking about me. I was like, me?
Yeah, you. You're so special.
Zach Bagans.
So when Zach and the crew decided to go to the cave, they were led by a Native American guide. Now this guide was literally wielding an AR-15. Like, he was packed and ready to go. If he saw a Skinwalker, pop, 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 you're dead. Yeah, so
he was serious about that.
Yeah, he was packing. I mean, he was serious, and you know, I wouldn't blame him. If I saw a backwards-looking dog chasing after me, I too would be packing a bazooka because I ain't playing. But he basically wielded for protective purposes. Of course, when
did you say that word?
My
did
brain,
you die?
My brain literally unplugged from itself.
Okay, be careful. Too many puzz will blast your eardrums in this mic.
Okay.
We're so bad.
Edit that out.
We're so bad. Ew.
So Zach and them were like, "Oh, this is real. This is really real." Okay. Them, on the other hand, Zach and the crew, so Billy and Jay, were wielding hatchets.
Well, no,
that's
good
not
as an AR-15, but yeah,
that's really not gonna catch the Skinwalker.
No, but at least you can Chop him.
So, upon entering the cave, they found animal bones and ash and a 45 bullet casing.
Are you okay?
I was trying to find the right words to say.
Okay, so they found a 45 bullet casing inside of the canyon, in the cave in Skinwalker Canyon.
Yeah. And they were like, what is this? Oh my god.
Bullet.
So someone could have been in there, saw the Skinwalker, or
And shot him.
they're just shooting in the cave at random bats. I mean, who knows?
I like option B because in the Skinwalkers is not real.
Yeah, me too. I don't want that thing chasing me. The crew set up cameras by the bones to see if they would do anything because upon entering the cave, they had found animal remains. Okay. So, like, I don't know, whatever lives in the canyon, like a snake or something.
Okay, so just found animal bones.
Or like a bird, yeah.
Okay,
so
just like laying around the cave?
Just laying around the cave or just look like an animal and eating them. Or the Skinwalker.
Oh. Okay.
So, they set up their camera to see if it will do anything, and of course, nothing happened. No surprise. Mm-hmm. The tour guide took Zach around the corner of the cave to show the natives to what they believe is a portal to another realm.
So the natives showed Zach what they believe is a portal to another realm.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
I'd
go through it.
I don't care.
Let's go through it.
Let's go through it. I mean, I don't want to go to the other side. So, gone for a period of time. Aaron got really antsy, but yo, where's Zach? So he called out to him. Zach, hello. But no answer.
Okay.
No answer. It was just dead in the cave. Aaron's like, yo, what the heck?
Yeah.
Zach, hello.
So he was alone. Wait, rewind. So he was alone in the cave by himself?
So Zach I think it was just Zach and Billy with him. So I think Aaron stayed behind.
Where'd they go?
They went to the portal.
The portal. Okay, so then wait. So were they all in the cave together?
Yeah, they were all in the cave. The crew, and the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were somewhere else. I don't know why.
No.
Okay.
So, so he feared for the worst, and he went to go look out for them. And then, like I said, he turned the corner, and they were right there. And he was freaking out, like, why didn't you guys call back out to me? Zach was like, we never even heard you.
That's weird, because they went through the portal.
Yeah, even though they're a couple feet away, 100 feet away, I should say. Yeah. But the cave is so closed in, it's like talking in, your closet. It is that,
muffled?
Not muffled. It's, I would say, echoed. Not echoed. Fuck, what am I trying to say? Quiet? Where your voices can bounce off the walls. And your other...
I know what you're trying to say, but it's hard to hear other people in the cave. The echoes.
No.
Wait, what?
Oh my god. No, it shouldn't be that hard to hear, even though he just turned the corner, he was a couple hundred feet away, and he was shouting.
Yeah, that's the whole point, that he couldn't hear him, even though he was just a corner away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry guys, that was so complicated.
That was really unnecessarily complicated.
Jeez Louise. Before going back, a second time, the natives have brought out this medicine woman, Walking Thunder.
Ooh.
And she's a baddie. Okay. So, to prepare them going back into the cave, fearing that they already could be in danger, she told them that if you ever feel anxious, is to yell on the top of your lungs and just do this weird arm motion, like you're air thrusting.
Okay.
I don't want to ear so. Whoo!
Okay. So wait, if you're in danger from the Skinwalker, you just.
Yeah, just to to gain back your confidence.
Your what?
Your confidence.
Your cock.
Yeah, your cock.
Your confidence.
Yeah, your confidence, or you just
so
let all that freaking.
So everyone listening, you just air thrust and you go ah.
Yeah, I see that. I just air thrusted out of my.
Yeah, the little demon came out of your throat.
So she told me if you ever feel anxious or scared.
Say that again. Jesus, what did you just say?
If you ever feel anxious or scared, yell at the top of your lungs. After she gave them a hallucinogenic called the Ghostbuster. Zach was like, "What is the Ghostbuster?" And she said, "Oh, this will keep the Skinwalkers away."
Okay.
They were all like, "Okay, crazy lady." So they all took it without them knowing it was super hallucinogenic.
Well, nothing like getting high and style while having a Skinwalker.
You know, and she said the only reason why she gave them it because they would contact other deities in Native American ceremonies. So that's why she gave it to them. That's it almost looked like when she pulled it. It almost looked like cayenne pepper.
Okay.
So if someone ever wants to offer you some cayenne pepper, you say no, children.
You say no.
Drugs
It's a hallucinogenic,
drugs are bad.
Drug. Get it away from me.
So she then gave them war paint to the Skinwalkers that won't screw with them.
Okay.
So that orange and black war paint
on their cheeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after the ceremony, the gang were really high and were feeling themselves. Sounds like a great time.
Yeah. But don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. All right. So when the crew came back, this time being nightfall.
Okay.
So they found new discoveries. Discoveries.
You're just jumbling over your words.
I know. I'm sorry.
Just speak English.
It's kind of hard. When the crew came back, this was being nighttime, they found new discoveries of a newly burnt fire pit containing animal remains. Newer ash wall paintings to what they believe was to be a phoenix. Aaron wanted to document by the portal to see if he could catch anything. Jay, the other crew member, decided to stay by the cave entrance with a speaker playing Native American ceremonial drums to see if they can try to catch anything.
Okay, so
anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
So Skinwalker out there bumping to some.
Yeah, he's like, hey.
Just like bump into it.
Yeah.
Alright. See if they get it on camera.
We got some busting drums out there. So by doing this, Aaron almost immediately got feedback on what the Skinwalkers didn't like. He caught coyote noises, weird whispers, and hissing. Very paranormal-like. So it didn't sound like your typical hissing or like a snake or something or a coyote. It sounded like very like ghostly, paranormally, and then it like immediately cut off. Like it was weird.
I'm at another dilemma where I just want to walk away so bad. I'd like to see your face. Is that okay? Would you come over to me? Would you talk to me? Would you come next to me? What was that?
That's weird.
And Aaron's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
So after this, he panically called or was radioing Zach for comfort. But
for comfort,
yeah.
Hi, I'm in this cave with myself, and I hear this hissing.
But knowing Aaron, he's freaking scared 24/7.
That's true. They're all scared 24/7.
I mean, I would be too if I was in a freaking cave by myself. So, but no reply. But then again, you're in a cave, so there's not the best reception.
Yeah, no, there's not.
After Aaron freaking out, he went back to the entrance to regroup with Billy.
Okay.
Or Jay.
Jay. Okay.
So, when Aaron regrouped with Jay, they did some weird mirror thing, hoping that a spirit would come through, or how they explained it, that a spirit would contort your face into the shape of theirs. So
I know what that is. They were trying to scry.
I don't know.
So with the mirror scrying, y'all, that's something that a lot of people who practice, magic, hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft of the like. It's called scrying. So you scry into a mirror in hopes that you see another entity on the other side, or that like their face will contort into yours. It's funky.
I don't know.
It's terrifying. I don't think I will ever try scrying, but it's pretty intense.
So, on the other side of the desert, Zach and Billy took their cars across the land, not really knowing the area all that well. They literally could have drove off a cliff. That's how crazy the roads were.
Jesus Christ.
They were just like, hey, let's go take our cars far away from this cave, and let's just go kind of see what we can find.
Do they have the lights on?
They have their lights on there. They have their high beams on, but then again, if you're driving in the middle of the friggin' night, pitch black, not really knowing the roads, who's to say you don't drive off?
A cliff.
Yeah, so
Skinwalker's like, I didn't have to try. You killed yourself.
I was just watching. So, they made a stopping point of a clearing to document anything. As soon as Zach stepped out of the car, he was complaining stepped out the car, complained that it smelled like something had died right where he's standing, but nothing was there. Suspicious.
Okay. Well, one of the things is smelling nastiness when a Skinwalker's around. So my butt would be like, I'm getting back in the car.
Yeah, I'm locking the doors.
I'm gonna go pick up the boys back at the cave.
If that they're not already dead.
We gotta get out of here.
Bye. According to the Navajo people, that's one of the biggest signs of a Skinwalker's presence. By this time, they were scanning the area with their night vision to see if they can find anything. So, using their night vision goggles.
Yeah, if you guys can't see us, because we're actually making goggles with our hands over our eyes scanning.
I see you.
You see any Skinwalkers in this room?
I see a dork with hands over his eyes. To see if they would see anything. Soon enough, they see two pairs of eyes staring back at them.
Ooh, the night vision goggles.
There's nothing else in the field, like a couple of brushes of like bush and stuff, but they just see these two pairs of eyes staring back at them, and they're like,
I'm gonna hope it was a coyote.
I hope it was nothing.
And not a Skinwalker.
As soon as they panned away, it disappears. Like, gone. Like,
Little Skinwalker. I'm good.
Then panning to another area, the same pairs of eyes were staring back at them.
Ew. So, did it, teleport?
Pretty much. It went, shing. Yeah.
Backwards feet going.
No.
I hate that. No.
Ugh, it makes my butt shiver.
My butt pucker.
Occasionally, they would get hissed at by this freaky-ass demonic animal thing that sounded like it was surrounding them. So, when they'd be doing, their scanning, they have, this weird paranormal hissing thing around them.
Ew.
And I was like, yo, this is freaky. No. So, then Zach freaked out and screamed when he saw this huge black mass towering over Billy. What? No. No thanks.
No, get out of there.
I would have screamed.
I know Zach, he's like, we have to investigate.
No, he wanted to do the opposite. Billy was like, what? Zach literally could have died. That's how shook he was. This thing was crazy. Then, investigating the spot where Billy was, where the black mass was standing over him, the stench of death was lingering that spot. So, take it as you want. They almost got ate by some scary-ass witchmen.
Yeah, no shoot.
Yeah. That concludes that story. Now we have 3 stories of people who encountered the Skinwalker.
Sorry, I was yawning so hard.
Do I bore you?
No.
I bore him. Campers. Someone looks like they need to go to bed.
No.
Okay.
Continue.
Gotta make me on.
Sorry.
You're boring me. Story 1 of the Skinwalker. So this happened when I was about 12 years ago. My family owns a farm in the heart of an Indian reservation. Very cool. One winter I was home for Christmas, taking care of the farm while my parents were away Christmas shopping. As I was home by myself, way late into the night, I hear all our cows freaking out. I know it had to be the wild dogs that are rampant in the area, so I threw on some boots, grabbed a shotgun, loaded up, and head out into the field. This is a perfect scenario of a horror movie. It was a cloudy, and there were cloudy. Wait, what? Hold on. Let me rephrase this. It was cloudy. There was a full moon, and it was breaking through the clouds, just to the right up, off to the snow.
So it's cloudy and it was snowy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, he had his gun. Oh god, it is like a horror movie situation. There's like howling dogs in the background.
Oh,
Oh no, thank you.
So, I ran out to the middle of the field, and just in time, I see two dogs. They were standing up, facing each other, and fighting. I think perfect to 2 for 1. So I pump up the shell of the shotgun, into the chamber of Mr. 12 gauge. I guess that's what she calls her shotgun. And then it happened. 2 of the dogs heard the rack. They both stopped, looked at me, and ran away on their back legs.
Wait, so like running?
Yeah.
So like dogs on their hind legs running.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
On their back legs, people. Campers, if you see a dog with backwards legs, don't adopt it.
Don't pet it.
It could be a skinwalker.
Don't pet it.
Immediately, I froze, and every ghost story about skinwalkers and all the native legends I grew up with flew through my mind. Keep in mind, I'm a white guy, so as pale as me, but I'm Cherokee.
Yeah.
And up until then, these were all just boogeyman stories that the native kids like to tell to scare us that night. They became real to me. Yeah, me frickin' too.
Kidding. Jesus.
Oh no.
Jesus.
Okay, story number 2. I was spending a month with my cousins at my grandma's house. It was August. My cousins' ages ranged from 10 to 15, and I was the oldest, being 15.
Okay.
I was staying with a 10 and 13-year-old. We were staying up telling scary stories.
Ooh, my favorite pastime.
Yes, sir. But one night, a few weeks in, we decided to make a campfire out back. My grandma's house is in a rural suburb. The neighbors aren't too far when you're driving down the road to their house.
Okay.
But
so everybody lived pretty close to one another.
pretty much just in a thicket of woods, I would guess. A thicket. Okay, but in the backyard, it's thick forest with man-made paths through it. Each house is on a hill, so only part of the basement was actually underground. That isn't important till later, though. So we're towards the east side of our yard, in a smallish patch of open land. You couldn't see the neighboring yards from there, and there was probably 3/4 of a mile to each side of us that belonged to my grandma. Okay, and it was maybe at 11 at night, and we're playing Truth or Dare. Typical. After telling scary stories, and my 14-year-old cousin dared me and my 13-year-old to go walk through the paths in the dark in the forest for 10 minutes.
Ew, what kind of dare is that? I'm not doing that kind of dare.
Apparently, psychopath said, I said yes right away. What? No. I'm going back inside. Y'all can do that. As I wasn't easily scared and rather level-headed, but my younger cousin was a bit more hesitant. So we did bring a flashlight because it wasn't pitch dark yet, and we could see enough to not die. We were walking through the paths for about 5 minutes, and then we could barely see the fire in the trees. And then we decided to turn. In the middle of the path, there was a large dog-like creature, hunched over on its front hands and an inch away from the ground. What I remember is how its eyes were so, in its words, fucking bright white. and it was like a humanoid, dog-shaped human-like head with a dog body and human hands and feet. It looked right at us. I know I was paralyzed with fear and dashed away with the opposite way from us towards the creek, ran through the yard. Eventually, my cousins and I screamed bloody effing murder as the other cousins and my grandma ran to us. So let that sink in. This dog-like creature with human hands hunched over staring at you with white eyes. Ah. What?
You're walking alone on this path in the dark.
Yeah.
Someone dared you to. You didn't bring your flashlight because you didn't think you needed the flashlight.
Because you can see.
Because you can see, and you think you could die. And no, I would tell Grandma, it's time to burn down the forest, Grandma. It's time to start a forest fire.
Grandma, I'm staying at the Hilton.
No.
I'm staying at the Hilton. I'm not going to your place anymore.
No, thank you.
I don't remember much here because I was really disoriented. I couldn't think properly, but I did wake up in bed, so I assumed that I was brought to the house. All the kids slept in the basement with a big room with a sliding glass door to the outside. As the room was on the side of the house, as the room was on the side that wasn't underground, my bed was pressed against the big glass window, and all I could see was my cousins playing outside down below. The house is in Michigan, so it gets slightly chilly, even in the end of August. And there was a slight breeze, so then I put on a jacket and ran to join them, skipping breakfast, not wanting to miss out on any of the fun. So after seeing this big freaking traumatizing werewolf hand backwards leg dog thing see me, I don't get traumatized anymore. I just want to go out and play. These people are just built different.
Yeah.
So when I got down, I could tell they were playing, but rather than running to get my grandma, her dogs, both of them, were dead, ripped up. No words.
I don't like when animals die, especially dogs.
That night, we went to bed early. I woke up about maybe 2 in the morning because I felt something hit my head. My cousins were sitting on the double bed opposite of me on the other side of the room. There was a 1 bunk bed and 2 double beds. There's a lot of beds here, so it's so no, like, look, seriously, like, look,
Sounds like a bed city. Yeah, they all looked afraid. Oh, wait, no. Oops. Where are you at?
I'm right here.
Oh, there was a bunk bed and 2 double beds. The double beds for me and... Oh, my God, yeah.
Folks, this is a mouthful. Okay. There was 1 bunk bed and 2 double beds. The double beds for me and my 14-year-old cousin. They were being quiet and staring at me. The 13-year-old nodded his head towards the window and I froze. They all looked afraid. I turned my head slightly to the side and I saw a really messed up looking face pressed against the window with gaping eyes looking at me. I screamed so freaking loud and it bolted. My grandma called the police after and I told her what happened and they found nothing. I went home after that and I have never been down there during that night again.
Damn, yeah, I'm not going to Grandma's house anymore. No, thank you.
Seeing this weird contorted face pressed against a glass? No thanks. Alright guys, this is the last story. It's kind of a long one.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah. Jacob with this terrible reading. God.
It's okay. We've never done this before. You'll get better. I'll get better. It'll be okay. Sorry, campers.
Yeah, sorry campers.
God, they're not gonna.
Y'all probably just want to go home now.
Yeah, they're just like, Mom, please pick us up. These 2 men.
Y'all ran out of weenies and s'mores
These
because
2
of my
men
stories.
Cannot tell a story for the life. Okay. On to story number 3.
The last one. Alright. I destroyed... That was a terrible start. Forgive me. I decided to join my best friend Karen for a 3-day stay at her grandmother's place on the reservation. Ooh. Her grandmother lives near a place called Tuba City, Arizona, in the middle of nowhere, but surrounded by rural homes.
Okay.
We go to college together, and I was kind of interested to know about the Navajo tradition. The first day we stayed, it was pretty chill. Nothing out of the ordinary, but her grandma, not that old, maybe around like 67 years old, said that a stray dog would come out of nowhere and wouldn't leave. To me, it kind of acted like strange and ugly looking. Black shaggy coat, looked like a mix between a German Shepherd and a lab. Okay. So that night we were watching a movie in the living room. We had big windows that looked out into the front where the cars are parked. Nothing fancy. With the curtains wide, Grandma was in the kitchen cooking dinner, and we were watching a movie. The next to the window is a medium bookshelf where DVDs are kept. Karen went back to put the DVD back from the movie we had just watched. But this time she freaked out because there was a stray black dog staring at us through the window, standing up on the boxwood outside.
Okay,
So
there's a dog outside their window. I don't think I'd be scared. Like, there's a freaking dog outside our window.
yeah, just like he's just watching the movie, okay?
I want to watch a movie too.
You don't want to like hunt.
That's probably not a dog, is it?
Yeah, don't wait.
Okay.
Don't get out of yourself, counselor.
Okay.
Okay. So nothing, or not something normal dogs do from my point of view or hers. Usually, my dog is a house dog, scratches at the doors to be let in. Reservation dogs, aren't house dogs, and dogs inside houses are frowned upon the Navajo tradition.
Okay.
Meant to protect the house and owner. So I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, like when we go to Uncle Tim's property, the dogs there on the we call them our neighbors. They're also Native American. They have these dogs that just like live on the property. They just run around all over.
They just chase your car
all over the property and all over the land. So like we'll go over to my uncle's property and just these random dogs will appear. So like I know what it means to like have just random dogs up and around. They're built different though.
Yeah. No, it's kind of funny. It reminds me of the scene of The Office when Mose chases the car with Jim and Pam going on Dwight's farm. That's literally the dogs. Yeah, we have to add the clip in because that's pretty funny. The other dog seemed to stay away from it. Karen opened the door and yelled at it to get off the box. It ran behind the shed. We went to the Tuba City to get some groceries, then came back to the house. The dog was nowhere to be seen. Nothing unusual. Okay, dog's gone. Bye-bye. Yeah. Grandma went to go visit some people, so it was just Karen and I. About 5 o'clock, we heard someone trying to open the door. Both of us looked out since there had been no car and there were no dogs barking. So they're like, is it like some spooky ghosts that like want to come in?
Or someone's trying to break into my freaking house.
Exactly. The damn Bigfoot. Looking out in the living room to the door, there was a dog trying to open the door with its paws.
So with hands.
The paws wrapped around the brass doorknob, standing outside on its hind legs.
It's hands. It's dog hands.
Let me in.
Ew.
I want a treat.
I don't like that. Ugh.
No.
Okay.
I thought that was weird, but really wasn't really freaked out. How? I would have been like, no, get the shotgun.
Yeah, this dog's trying to open my front door with its dog hands.
Yeah. Oof.
Anyways.
Karen was freaked out,
Okay.
but the other friend was like, this is nothing. I see this like every day. She opened the door and chased it off. No, why would you open the door? I would have, no.
That's how you die.
And she chased it off. No. Grandma came back later and Karen told her. Grandma didn't like what she heard. Got ready to go to sleep in the spare room since it had two beds. On one window with the curtains opened a little. We were trying for lights, but there was a sound coming from the top of the roof. Pitter-patter of the footsteps and scratching sounds and panting. It sounded like it jumped onto the large plastic water barrel they had. At first, what we heard sounded like barking, but as it grew louder, the other dogs seemed like to be barking at something also. But all of a sudden, something was running around the house barking, but it was no dog. Nope, it wasn't. The barking sounded human, a deep male voice barking like what we knew it to be wasn't a dog. And this is how she interpreted the dog sound word to be. Woof, woof, rough, rough, arf, arf, arf.
That's how she sounds.
Yeah. Just exactly like that. Adding the W's and R's and A's, then panting again by the window, we started freaking out. So just think of like this weird hobo man dressed up as a dog. Arf, arf, ruff, ruff, ruff.
He just roughed at our audience.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Oh jeez. Okay. Then Karen decided, in my opinion, was stupid.
Okay.
Open the curtains and look out.
No, keep the curtains closed. Don't look outside. There's death out there.
There was a stray dog on its hind legs looking into our bedroom, but this time it stunk. And that what I thought were to be two black holes in its neck, another pair of eyes twinkled.
Ew.
Think hands were grown, somewhat thick, and sharp fingernails. Again, both screaming, shutting the curtains closed, Grandma came running through the door and seeing it. First thing she did was to grab ashes from the fireplace, loaded 3 shells into the shotgun from underneath the bed, blessed herself in Navajo, and went outside to shoot it. Yelling in Navajo about how the thing wasn't welcomed there. Oh, that wasn't welcome there. They got the hell out of there for it to go linger somewhere else. So Grandma did like this, like, blessed thing from the ashes of the fireplace. And then she pumped the shotgun and she's like, lit.
Yeah, she went outside and she said, "You're not freaking welcome here."
Kapow!
Navajo, and shot it a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
That grandma is pretty badass, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's a pretty badass grandma, but no freaking thank you.
So, okay. Okay. So, them both being traditional, the next day they called the medicine man to come over and put cedar in. He prayed over everyone with cedar smoke, and an eagle feather blessed the place, made us eat better herbs called eagle's gull, or something. She gave me an arrowhead. Apparently, I needed to carry one for protection. A little pouch called a corn pollen. Seems to work pretty well. The medicine man said that it was a skinwalker, which in the Navajo was a long word, but it's called the Yoshi. For them, it's called the Yoshi. So just think of the weird word to try to say in the very beginning. They call it the Yoshi.
Okay.
So don't get that mixed up with like Mario or something. The body of a stray dog, which was killed by the skinwalker, made an illusion so we wouldn't know that it was a real dog. He also said that Yoshis tend to harm people using some sort of bone straw to spit up at people, think spitballs, only deadlier, and get human bones into them. So yeah, he spits literal human bones at you through a bone straw.
Ew.
That is...
What the hell? What kind of skinwalker is this?
This is some freaky...
some craziness.
No, thank you. Doctors can't detect it, but the medicine man said the day they pulled a piece of human skull out of Grandma's right shoulder, pretty big, about 2 inches long, 1 centimeter thick, and was real because we watched him pull it out of her. That was intense.
Wow, so she got shot with one of these things. It's like, so she shot the shotguns at him, and the little thing was like...
Yeah, no.
Dang.
And that concludes the 3rd story.
Wow, this is the skinwalker.
That was a skinwalker, so...
Oh, Atlanta.
Don't get near one, yeah.
No, I'm not going to the Navajo Nation. I'm not going to Skinwalker Canyon.
None of that.
No, I'm good. Oh, you just hit the mic.
I'm sorry, folks.
Dang.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
Alrighty. Well, now we're on to some true crime. We heard Jacob's crazy paranormal story about the Skinwalker. Well, I have a really crazy case for you all. This is the case of Cassie Stoddart. I think that's how you say her name. Stoddart. Stoddart. I'm hoping I said that correctly. If not, I apologize. It's not my fault. So this murder was inspired by Scream. Yeah, the movie Scream. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, partially inspired by that. Yeah, so it's really crazy. So get your hats on, y'all. This is get buckled in. This is gonna be a crazy ride, campers. All right, so this is a true crime story of and the murder of Cassie Stoddart, and she was a high school student from Pocatello, Idaho. That's a really funky word to say. So Pocatello. Now is at 2020 or 2021. I wrote this during December, but the population's over 56,000 people.
Wow!
Right, so pretty big population. It was a large, and it is a quiet Mormon town in southwest Idaho. Was known as a very nice and safe place to live. Right, okay. Very chill. No one's dying yet. Now let's take a trip back in the little time back machine with Zach and Jake. Let's go to 2006 when the iconic slasher movie Scream series and it was very popular, with Scream 3 only being released in 2006 and then the original Scream in 2000. Actually, no. The original Scream was released in 1996, but it was still very popular by 2000 because that's when Scream 3 came out. Sorry.
We're old, is what he's trying to say.
We're old. I was 1996. I was 1 year old because I was born in 1995. So Scream was released just 10 years before Cassie's life was taken away.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Cassie was 16 at the time of 2006 and was a straight A student at Pocatello High School.
Oh.
Yeah, straight A's.
I wish I could.
I wish I had straight A's in high school. Cassie described as being very pretty with long brunette hair. Many people can assume she was a huge package. Like, she had beauty, she had the brains, and she had a great love for the arts. Like, she's like a really cool chick. Like, if you got the chance to date her, like damn, like
Yeah.
she's a whole package. She was a really cool chick, and she was also like a typical teenager. So, but not like Macy, our sister.
Doing TikToks.
Yeah, not like that. Cassie also had a boyfriend at the time, Matt Beckham. Oh my God. Which they had only been dating for about 5 months at this time.
Okay.
She also had 2 classmate friends, Brian Draper and Tori Adam Check, which they will become significant later on in this case.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, remember those names, Brian and Tori.
Awesome. I already forgot them.
These 4 all knew one another and were all friends of Pocatello High School. Now, the 2 classmates, Brian and Tori, were both obsessed with horror slashers and the horror movie genre. They would often be seen together recording videos around school, especially Brian with his Sony camcorder filming interactions with Cassie and as well as other classmates at Pocatello High School.
Okay.
So both her 2 friends, Brian and Tori, loved horror movies. All right. During this time as well, both Brian and Tori were known to document themselves talking about murder and killing people. And here's a clip.
Oh.
Okay.
We're skipping our 4th hour. We're not even our plan right now. I can't push. I'm telling Cassie's family, but she had to be number 1. We have to stick with the plan. And she's perfect, so she's gonna die.
So it makes this even worse. This clip was later disputed as like for entertainment, and it would only be used in a horror movie for both Brian and Tori. Like, oh, we just filmed this because we're going to be filming a horror movie, and we were talking about using Cassie in it as like our main survivor girl.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't know what a survivor girl is, it's usually like the woman at the very end that survives like this horrible tragedy. So. And also to make this worse, it was filmed the night before the murder. The night right before the murder. This like little clip.
What the heck?
Anyways, so now it's the next evening, September 22nd, 2006, and Cassie is supposed to house sit for her aunt and uncle, Allison and Frank Contreras, not only watching over the house, but the animals as well. The house was located at Whispering Cliffs, a small and quiet neighborhood. Cassie took advantage of the situation. An empty house. There's no one around. It's empty. So, of course, she invited her little boyfriend, Matt.
Perfect opportunity.
Her boyfriend, Matt, of only 5 months to keep her company and watch movies as she house sat.
Okay.
Right? I mean, innocent. So later that night, Brian and Tori stopped by to watch some movies with them as well. And they put on Kill Bill Volume 2. So she invited her boyfriend, her 2 friends. I come over. I have the house, my uncle's house. Watch the movies, kick back, chill.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect
Cool.
date night.
Yeah. Except the other 2 are like 3rd and 4th wheeling. That's sad. Midway through, the 2 boys, Brian and Tori, had changed their minds and decided they would rather catch a movie at the theater instead, which they ended up leaving the house to do so. Both Cassie and Matt are now home alone. Matt's mom comes soon after to pick him up after the 2 boys have left, Brian and Tori.
Okay.
So Matt's mom comes to pick up Matt, and Matt asks if he can see the night with Cassie because she's a little freaked out because the power kept going on and off while Matt was there with them, and so Cassie was a little freaked out. I mean, like, you're hanging out and like the power shuts off. Wouldn't you freak out?
Yeah.
Middle of the night. So he asks his mom, and the mom's like, no.
Yeah.
You're not going to stay here alone with your girlfriend. but instead asked Cassie if she would like to spend the night at their place instead. Like,
Okay.
you know what? I can't allow my kid to stay with you, but you can come over to our place to spend the night if you're that scared. Well, I love this. It's so innocent and it's so nice of Cassie. Cassie like respectfully declines. Because she made a responsibility to watch the house and watch the dogs. Like that's a responsibility to do so. She was,
Right.
she was being a good kid. And so she says no, and that she couldn't leave. And so Matt leaves with his mom back home, and Cassie goes back to watching movies on the couch with her aunt and uncle's dog.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's like, sorry, I can't go. I made a responsibility. See you later. Sorry, Matt. So Matt and them leave. She's watching movies again with her dog. Right?
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
2 days pass. 2 days pass, y'all. Cassie's aunt and uncle returned home to their home on September 24th, 2006. So 2 days after Matt and them left Cassie that night.
Yeah.
Her and aunt and uncle, their 13-year-old daughter of the Contreras, entered the home first, but found that it was unlocked, that the front door was unlocked.
Huh.
Right? So, which was strange. And then the 13-year-old found Cassie laying in a giant pool of her own blood in the living room. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine being 13 and walking into your house and then you seeing your cousin on the floor in their own blood in your living room.
I would be shook.
Yeah, I'd be freaking shook too. So the Contreras family immediately calls 911, as one would. The police determined it was not a robbery because nothing had been stolen at the crime scene, and determined by the lack of disturbance that whoever murdered Cassie, it was someone that she knew. Okay?
How do you determine that?
Because, I mean, the front door was unlocked, so there was no break-in.
Oh.
Nothing was disturbed in the house. Nothing was stolen, so it couldn't have been a robbery. So if the door is unlocked, then she must have let in someone that she knew.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There was like no forcible entry. That's why they say that. So it must have been someone that she knew. Right? So during the autopsy of Cassie, it determined that she had been stabbed 29 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 9 times were fatal. 9 of which were fatal.
Jeez.
Yeah, and usually when someone stabs another person, like kills someone with a knife, it's usually personal. And the reason being is that you have to physically do it, the action of stabbing someone. So it's more personal rather than a gun. It's easy and quick. So remember that, because I'll bring that up again in like future cases. And I think when you do your true crime cases, you'll see that oh God, I hit the mic. That usually when it's like a stabbing, it's usually more personal.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk about the Contreras family for a minute. Just so like what happened with them after finding this. They're like their cousin, niece, dead in their living room. The Contreras family were put into a hotel for the coming weeks while the investigation went underway, as well as a cleanup crew for cleaning the crime scene. The family states that the living room is never used, as an overwhelming sense of dread lives there.
Wow.
Yeah. The family soon fell apart as Allison Contreras soon fell into a deep depression and lost her job, which was the mom, the aunt. She then stated that this was her dream home and it turned into a nightmare. Also, their stepdaughter claimed to have seen the apparition of Cassie in the home, which led her to break down and commit suicide.
Oh my God.
Frank Contreras has stated that each family member has had a strange encounter in the home. Every year since the murder, the family has listed the home for sale, but have never gotten an offer, even with its like super low selling point.
Wow.
Right. The house did finally sell, even with the stigma on the house in 2017, but now the house is up for sale again.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, like the murder really affected her family. Like Cassie's family, like was really affected, as you can tell.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sad.
That sucks.
It
dude.
sucks because someone murdered her out of cold blood. All right. So in cases like these, especially when the victim was in a relationship, the police go to the boyfriend because initially they're like, well, the boyfriend probably did it.
Right.
So Matt was interviewed. They brought him in for an interview. They questioned him, right? They questioned him, but again, everybody reacts differently towards someone dying, some people are very like not to say like dramatic, like oh, like wailing, but some people get like frozen. And so Matt was very lack of emotion to the shock of his girlfriend being dead. And again, everybody reacts differently to death. So maybe that was his way of processing it, but it made him look super suspicious. They're like, this guy is sus.
Yeah.
Because his behavior did not match. I mean, his girlfriend just died, and he was just kind of like, oh. Yeah, I watched like the interview for it, and he's very much like, okay. Like, but again, everybody reacts differently. So on Saturday, September 23rd, 2006, Matt tried contacting Cassie several times and was unable to reach her. Matt then stated that he didn't go to check on Cassie because he didn't have transportation to go, to get to the house and come back to, go back and forth.
Right.
And his mother had the car because she was going to work. So like, he was like, I did try to contact her because she was silent, but like, I couldn't go check up on her because I didn't have a car.
Right. And he's 16.
And he's 16. So, on September 23rd, 2006, around 8 p.m., Tori picked up Matt to come and spend the night at Tori's house. So the same night he was calling to check on Cassie, Tori, one of her friends, came and picked him up.
Okay.
To spend the night at his house. Matt then said to Tori that he was very worried for Cassie and that he asked Tori if he would take him to go see if she was okay. Tori said that he couldn't take Matt to see Cassie because he didn't have enough gas in his car to take Matt there, and that the gas left in his car was supposed to last him the rest of the week.
Oh.
So he's like, I can't take you. Sorry. I know you're worried about her, pal, but like, I don't have enough gas. Right?
Okay.
So Matt did not know that Cassie was murdered until September 24th when Cassie's mother called him and asked, what have you done to my daughter? So he didn't know this entire time. Remember, because they found the body, they called the police. And then before he was even running for questioning, Cassie's mom called Matt and was like, what did you do to my daughter? He's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? It's like, my daughter's dead. You murdered her. Imagine finding that out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
So Matt also took a polygraph test by police, and they asked him if he murdered Cassie or if he knew the people that did, and he passed with flying colors because he didn't do it. And he didn't murder her, and he didn't know who did. All right. Tori then they brought in Tori, right? And he conducted a voluntary interview with Lieutenant John Gansky of the Idaho State Police. And this took place at Tori's home alongside with the supervision of both his parents, Shannon and Sean Adamczyk. He stated that he did go see Cassie that night with Brian, but no one else showed up for the party. So Brian and Tori both decided to leave the party, leaving the couple alone to go catch a movie at the theater instead. But when further pressed in the interview, Tori could not describe or tell him what the movie was or about. But that they did have ticket stubs for the movie Holes with Shia LaBeouf.
Oh my God! Wow,
we
are really old now.
That's an old movie.
Wow.
Yeah. So they were like, yeah, we went to go see a movie, we left, but like we can't remember what movie we saw.
That's funny.
They kept saying that it was boring. Like, oh, it was a boring movie, didn't pay attention. I'm like, Holes is not a boring movie.
It's a fantastic movie.
It's a great movie.
These kids suck.
Oh, my favorite. It's like, Dad, when are we going to stop digging? It's like, well, that's too damn bad. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm tired of this, Granddad.
Well, that's too damn bad. No, that's not a boring movie. That's a great
awesome
great movie.
An awesome movie.
Tori then says after the movie, he and Brian went back to his place and spent the rest of the night there. After the movie, we left, went back to my place, it was boring. The following day, on September 25th, Lieutenant Gansky did an interview with Brian, so the following day, in which his mother, Pan Draper, was present. Brian's story was very similar to Tori's, and that they left Cassie's party, quote-unquote, because it really wasn't a party, it was just a get-together.
Like a yeah.
Yeah, and left to go to the movies instead. But also, he couldn't remember what the movie was, that he only saw just a couple days prior to the interview. Like, how do you forget a movie you just watched?
These kids have a terrible alibi.
Like, how do you forget a movie you just? That's so dumb. Anyways, but Brian did say how shocked he was to hear about Cassie's death and couldn't believe she was dead. Police then did a follow up with the movie theater and asked the attendant that was there that night if she had seen both these boys, Brian and Tori, and she replied no. She's like, never seen these people.
Okay.
They're kind of ugly, creepy looking, nerdy dudes. I would have remembered them. No, I have not seen these guys. So they were like, well, okay. So on that same day, September 25th, a Bannock County detective, Tom Foltz, conducted an interview with a person who wishes to remain anonymous. Ooh. The interview took place at Pocatello High School, and these are the statements made by him/her.
Okay.
Right? I want to say it was like a student.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. So this is what they said. Tori is obsessed with guns, knives, and horror films. Tori and his friend are so obsessed with horror films that they are writing their own script for a horror movie. Tori's movie script is about a boy, girl, and a little boy getting killed. She has also heard Tori say that he wanted Cassie to star in this movie, which, remember that prior clip? They talk about it. Tori gave the anonymous person the script to read about 2 or 3 months ago. So, like, this anonymous person has a script. Tori has also told this anonymous person that he loves killing movies like Scream and Friday the 13th, and that Tori has a knife collection in his bedroom. Also, Tori had made a glove of knives like Freddy Krueger. Like, he made his own Freddy Krueger glove. Yeah, freaking nuts. From A Nightmare on Elm Street. The anonymous person has also heard Tori brag about how he can commit a perfect murder and get away with it because he takes notes on horror movies and what to do and what not to do and how to not get caught. Tori also apparently loves to pretend to fake stab people and slit their throats while walking around school in the hallways as a joke. What the fuck? Yeah, he's a little wild. The anonymous person was also invited to the party Cassie was at, but Matt declined to go. Oh, with Matt. Oh, like the anonymous person was going to go hitch a ride with Matt. He was like, "No, I don't want to go."
Okay.
Right. All right. Also, this anonymous person knows that Tori had a huge crush on Cassie for the past 2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So here's a clip of them talking about their movie Murder.
There should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddart. She's going to be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy shit, dude.
I'm horny just thinking about it.
Hell yeah.
Did that give you chills?
What the fuck?
Did that give you chills? That low-key makes me want to cry.
Oh my god. I can't even imagine what her family, when they saw that, how they would feel. Oh.
Yeah, that's wild, right? Oh, I got goosebumps. Oh.
Dude, no way. Okay.
So, September 27, 2006, about 5 days after the murder, both Brian and Tori were arrested with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Both were charged as adults, even though they were only 16 years old. So there was enough evidence to arrest the two.
Yeah.
Brian admitted he was there at the time Cassie was murdered during his interrogations with police. So they finally brought Brian in after finding out all this information, and they were like, after being interrogated for so long, he just kind of broke.
Okay.
But he had no part in it. So Brian said, it was like, I didn't have any part in this. I was just kind of there. So he was under the impression by Tori that they were only going back to the house to scare Cassie with their costumes they made. Okay. So they remember they left.
Okay.
But the plan was they were going to go back and sneak in and scare Cassie and Matt with their costumes. That's what Brian was told by Tori.
What an asshole.
Right? Brian then stated they were watching the movie Kill Bill, and then he said he had to go to the bathroom. So Brian said while they're watching Kill Bill, this is when they were there. He had to go to the bathroom, but in reality, Brian went downstairs to unlock the garage door so that him and Tori could sneak into the house's garage later that night to scare Cassie. All right? Also, he stated that the only reason they dressed in full costume and had knives was to make the prank more realistic. Yeah. So here's what happened according to Brian's testimony. Okay. These are on, like, this has been taken down. This is, y'all get ready for this. because this is going to be really scary and very terrifying and very much sad. After they left Cassie's home to go and watch a movie, aka Holes, well, they didn't. They didn't leave. Go figure.
Right.
And this is what happened according to court transcripts for this case.
It was 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors. It's all locked. Now we just gotta wait.
What the hell?
Yeah. So this is them after they left the house, and they're gonna go back into the house.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Terrifying.
Yeah.
So that was just a little clip for you guys about them talking about it. So Brian and Tori left the residence and got into Tori's red 1994 Geo and drove down a little wave down like the Whispering Cliffs residence. It was kind of like on a hill, so they drove a little bit farther away from the house. So by this point, after driving down a little bit down the street, they're out of sight from the home. So both Brian and Tori proceed to put on their costumes they're going to wear, again, to scare Cassie to make it more realistic. They're both wearing dark shirts, gloves, and a mask that they made. Both boys each were wielding a knife. So let me show you the mask. So, like, those are the masks. So the mask that they wore, you guys, was like a white mask, and it had like bleeding eyes and like a bleeding mouth. It looked like a party, like a basic like white party mask you would find at like Hobby Lobby, and they just made the eyes bleed and the mouth bleed.
Weird.
All right. So, so they had on their costumes and they were like, all right, ready to go. So Brian and Tori walked up the long driveway up to the home where Matt and Cassie were in full costume, ready with knife in hand. So Matt was still home when they entered the house.
Okay.
So before entering the home, both looked through all the windows to get a clear insight of where both Matt and Cassie were when they entered through the basement door on the south side of the home. I remember because that's when Brian unlocked it.
Yeah.
Both Brian and Tori then created disturbances in the basement by throwing things around to create noise in hopes it would draw both Cassie and Matt downstairs in order to scare the couple. So they're in the basement just throwing shit around in hopes that like, whoa, what was that in the basement? Let's go investigate. And then they would pop out and scare them. Right? So to scare the couple further, Brian and Tori found the breaker box in the basement and turned off the power to the home for a few minutes in hopes the couple again would come downstairs and flip it back on, but that didn't happen. Probably because the couple were too nervous to investigate. Then they put the power back on, and to no avail, the couple wouldn't come down to the basement to investigate. So no matter how much they're causing a disturbance and turning off and on the power, they're not coming. They ain't coming downstairs.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. No, I'd be like, I'm sitting on my couch watching my movie.
And then seeing this thing jump out at scaring me.
No. I'm away in the base. No, I'm good. So shortly after this happens, Matt Beckman's mom arrives at the house to pick up Matt. Matt then asks his mom if he can stay the night. She explains, that Cass is a little scared, hearing where noises. Matt's mom says no. His alibi pans out, and then Matt then leaves with his mom, and Cass is home alone on the couch. All right. Okay. So Matt kind of takes his little rough because he was like, "Oh man, like what the hell?" But then says his goodbyes to Cassie and heads out. Once Matt leaves, both Brian and Tori go to the breaker box in the basement and flip the power off, making the lights flicker, and then the power just goes out. So after Matt leaves, Cass is home alone. They're fucking with the breaker box again. So instead of investigating, right, because Cassie is scared, she remains on the couch with the dog, unsure what to do. She's like, I'm not going to go. The power is wigging out. Yeah. I'm going to sit on this couch and ignore it. So as she remains on the couch, both boys, Tori and Brian, in full costume, head up the stairs in the dark. All right. And this was like a 2-story home. So the basement on the bottom and then like living on top.
Yeah.
So once reaching the top of the stairs, Brian opens and slams a closet door in an attempt to scare Cassie. Again, it's black in there, so she can't see anything. Although not scaring Cassie, it did alert one of the Contreras dogs to investigate. After seeing Brian, the dog then flees to Cassie's side in the living room. So the dog is like, what the hell is all that noise? And then freaks out by seeing this like dude in a mask and goes with Cassie, right? So then the two boys, Brian and Tori, enter the living room. Cassie's laying down on the couch, and she jumps up in terror when the two enter the living room, which I would too. These two masked men just walked with knives into my living room.
No.
So this is when I love kind of Cassie right now.
Okay.
Because she jumps up like a badass and walks up to them and demands who the hell they are and to get the fuck out. And she's going to kick their asses if they don't leave.
Yo, she's a G.
I got to say, she a G, man. She was
Yeah.
like, get out. Get out of my house. So suddenly, because Tori is in front of Brian and she's confronting Tori. Brian then hears Cassie scream bloody murder and then sees Tori stab Cassie multiple times. Right there.
Wow.
Yeah. Cassie collapses and then all Tori can hear is a gurgling sound come out of Cassie's mouth. Yeah. Tori then looks at Brian and states, I don't know what I've done, ... We have to kill her. So Tori then shifts his attention back to Cassie and then stabs her several more times. Then both Brian and Tori leave the residence. And here's a clip of them leaving in Tori's car.
That's so scary.
I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck. That felt like it wasn't real. I mean, it went by so
Shut
fast.
the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Isn't that
What
goosebumps?
the hell?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they killed her and then left.
Wow.
Yeah. They're assholes.
Wow.
There's a lot of words I want to say about these two men, but these two kids, well, now they're men. Ugh, God. So from there, they head to Tori's house after killing her, right? So they head back to Tori's house for a while to try to get their stories and act straight. Then they head into Tori's garage and put the costumes, gloves, and knives into a blue garbage bag. Then they head to Tori's car with that garbage bag plus a bottle of rubbing alcohol. They both drive to a nearby store to buy matches and then head to Black Rock Canyon area. The two hike a trail for a while before burning the garbage bag with the costumes, masks, gloves, and knives with rubbing alcohol and matches, and they bury it. So Brian isn't too sure, but he assumes Tori then burned the remaining items or what remained of the fire because they burned them, but then he burned them again and then buried them. All right. So Tori was wearing black Converse and black jeans at the time of Cassie's murder, but for some reason Tori did not burn them, and neither did Brian. They both kept their clothes that they murdered Cassie in. Kind of dumbasses.
Rookies.
They burned everything else, but
Right.
I mean, not. Thankfully, they did because they ended
Yeah.
up getting caught. But you know.
Yeah.
The two boys then drive back to Tori's residence to watch a movie and relax. The fuck. No, thank you.
Who's just no,
and that's what happened to Cassie. That's the night of the murder. Oof. Yeah. So Brian caved in during the interrogation and eventually led police back to Black Rock Canyon where Tori had buried and burned the evidence of the murder, where they found the costumes, multiple knives, and there was a lot of freaking knives. Apparently, he brought a whole collection to stab her with, but only used one. And the masks, and plus the VHS tape. That was the tape that you saw. And it wasn't burned all the way through. Yeah. And I showed you the picture of the mask. That's what they found. All that stuff that was burned and buried.
Wow.
Yeah. So on these tapes were vlogs of their day to day. This was all their tapes. Also how they had chosen Cassie for the kill and before and after they murdered her. Right, which we all watched. Both Brian and Tori has had separate trials. Brian being tried guilty April 17th, 2007, and Tori tried guilty June 8th, 2007. August 21st, 2007, Brian and Tori both received a mandatory service of life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus 30 years for life for the conspiracy to commit murder.
Wow.
So thank God
Yeah.
they got put away. Both serving the sentences at Idaho Correctional State Institution. Both tried to get an appeal in 2010 and 2011 by the Supreme Court, but both were denied. Thank God. In the documentary called Lost for Life that came out in 2013, Brian is completely remorseful of his actions in the death of Cassie. So we're going to watch a little bit of that.
I was actually the individual who snuck downstairs and locked the basement door. And it's that one choice where I was just kind of going along with it. I really didn't stop and say, why am I doing this? I just did it. And that one thing that I did, started this whole thing. And that's something that is hard to deal with, because all I had to do was just not do that. And this may have never happened.
He was just a kid. I mean, at 16 years old, he was very easily influenced by his friends. Tori's much more of a follower than a leader.
Yeah, who I was at that point and who I am now, it's like totally different people.
But who Tori was at that age, at 16, he still didn't commit this crime.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not saying that. He's not saying that.
I'm
He
saying
has changed.
I made some mistakes and I learned from them.
But your mistakes weren't anything that you were charged with. They weren't the murder and the conspiracy.
Yeah.
That was Brian. It must be harder because you're innocent to be facing it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so he says he's playing for someone else's mistakes, so a lot of his family blames Brian. It was all Brian's plan. I think they're both guilty regardless. I mean, like, when I was watching Brian talk, I was like, oh man, like, he's better now. Like, he's really remorseful. Like, I mean, he's kind of fudge.
Tori?
No, Brian. Brian was the one with the glasses.
Oh, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Brian's the one with the glasses. I was like, man, like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, he's really remorseful. Like, he's becoming a better person. But I was like, no, he still killed someone.
Does he have like a stutter problem too?
No, I think he's just nervous. I mean, he's recounting something. He murdered someone, so I don't imagine he'd be speaking clearly about it. Tori, on the other hand, I don't know. He was smiling during his interview, a little smirk, like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm just being sort of
Yeah, but his parents too are very much like enabling him, like, oh, he didn't do it. It was all the other guy. Like, no, you both did it.
Wow.
You both. God, I hit that. You both committed murder. No, you're. Bye. You're in prison. So, also Brian states that Tori was very heavily influenced by the movie Scream, and that he fascinated on trying or wanting to create his own version of it, and that Tori convinced Brian to do something off of Scream. Right? Anyways, Tori still holds up his false sense of innocence, does not take any responsibility for what he's done, and that he did not commit these actions, and that he was with his added enablement of his parents, stating he's innocent, and Brian is the mastermind behind it all. His parents make it seem like it's like Tori is the victim in all this. He was convinced to do it. No, you both premeditated this and killed this poor freaking girl. So he's a mastermind, you say. Brian later states that he did in fact stab Cassie because Tori told him to. God, the dog freaked me out. Yeah, our dog's at the door and scared the hell out of us. Scratched on the door. I'm like, oh, like, let me in.
It's Tori.
Fathers love us. So Brian, later did state that he did stab Cassie. Are you okay? Baby G wants to come in. Yeah. No. Sorry, Baby G, you gotta stay outside. Oh, poor Baby G. Anyways, so again, Tori told Brian to stab Cassie, but DNA evidence only finds Brian's skin underneath Cassie's fingernails and not Tori's. Mm-hmm. So it makes it a little weird.
Right.
If Tori was the one that stabbed her, then how come Brian's his skin is underneath his fingernails? So, like, maybe Tori is right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Go get Baby G. Okay, we let the dog in. Baby G's now with us. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, you can see her on my bed. Baby G. Hey, come here. Come here. Say hello. Say hello. Hi. Good afternoon. Okay, Baby G, you just gotta be quiet. Also, Brian stated in the VHS that he killed Cassie while Tori was quiet. Because you know how he says, like, oh man, I can't believe I just stabbed her in the throat.
Yeah.
That was Brian. Yeah. So Tori was pretty quiet. But he did say that we killed Cassie. It was a lot of like he said, she said kind of things. Well, like he's the one that killed, but like she, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he said, it doesn't matter. You both did it.
Yeah.
It was premeditated. You both killed an innocent 16-year-old girl. Like, no, y'all killed her.
Terrible.
So I feel really bad for Cassie, as I think everybody should. She's just trying to make some extra cash. She's trying to be a good girl and not leave the house when asked by her boyfriend. You know, she made a promise to her aunt and uncle. You know, I'm going to stay in this house. I'm going to watch it in my house for you. Watch your dogs and take care of your house while you're away. And then her whole life was taken away like that.
Wow.
All by some two idiots that want to live out their own slasher horror movie. Yeah, and that's the end of it. Gotta keep hitting that. And that's the end. That's Cassie Jo Stoddart.
That's insane.
Yeah, R.I.P. You know, I lots of prayers sent out to that family because I know they're still living with the loss of their child.
Yeah.
That's gotta be rough.
It's rough, man.
And I hope those two men stay in prison for
Forever.
life,
Like, I
and
hope
they
they never get out.
die in there.
Yeah.
Oh God, Jesus Christ. Well, Jacob, that was
intense.
That was intense. This was our first podcast, and there's going to be more. So next podcast, I will be telling a paranormal story,
and I'll be telling a true crime.
I already have my paranormal story ready. A little sneak peek. I'm gonna be talking about search and rescue paranormal stories in the United States National Forests. There was a Reddit thread back in like 2005 talking about it, and it is insane. It's going to be pretty long, just so everyone knows. It's going to be pretty long, but it's going to be so freaking spooky. I am so excited to share with you campers.
And I am going to do a little spoiler for mine. It's just one word. Mustache.
Mustache.
That's all you need to know.
Because we have mustaches, but we don't kill.
Yeah. So,
Oh, God.
yeah, also, towards the end of our podcast.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
I have a joke.
Jacob wants to leave you campers, if you're still wanting to be a camper after this podcast, and still continue
to liven up the mood.
If you still want to be partaking in Camp Insomnia. Here is a joke to end our podcast, like Jacob said, to lighten the mood of the paranormal and death.
Okay. All right, let me try to remember the joke.
Oh my God.
Okay. Okay. What does the bee say to his wife when he comes home from work?
What does the bee say to his wife when he comes home from work? Okay, what does he say?
Honey, I'm comb.
Oh my God, so stupid.
But I'm
Oh my
Oh,
God.
oh.
Honey, I'm comb.
Honey, I'm comb.
Stop. Thank you guys for
Thank you guys.
listening. I hope you come back for more. Please make sure to follow us at Instagram at Camp Insomnia _podcast and Twitter Camp Insomnia. And that's what we'll be posting, pictures and stuff about what we talked today. So like on Instagram and Twitter. On Twitter, we'll post images of the Skinwalker and of the case of Cassie Jo Stoddart.
All right.
Thank you guys for listening.
This was truly an experience.
It was an experience, and we're only going to get better from here, I promise. This is only the first of many, and we will get better, I promise.
So stick around.
Stick around, campers.
Have fun.
And good luck trying to sleep tonight.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.